know why people keep choosing to beef with this man 50 Cent, man. This man, yo, he is always going to find a way to make y'all look foolish and bad.
Things in the hip-hop world just got messy again. And this time it's not small talk. It's loud, public, and everywhere you look. The tension between 50 Cent and Papoose didn't just simmer. It blew up into a full-on online spectacle that people can't stop watching.
50 Cent has responded to the freestyle where Papoose claimed that every verse after his first album was bad.
Things in the hip-hop world just got messy again, and this time it's not small talk, it's loud, public, and everywhere you look. The tension between 50 Cent and Papoose didn't just simmer, it blew up into a full-on online spectacle that people can't stop watching. What started as a simple lyrical clash flipped fast into something way bigger than music, and now it's got fans arguing, picking sides, and replaying every moment like it's a live event. It kicked off earlier this week, but things escalated quick. A diss track dropped, and right away people started debating who really came with it harder. Some listeners focused on the bars, others on delivery, and suddenly it wasn't just about rap anymore. It turned into full social media chaos.
The two are currently involved in a very public feud that has gotten a lot of attention on social media.
The conversation moved out of the studio and straight onto timelines, comment sections, and group chats where everybody had something to say. Papoose came through with a diss aimed directly at 50 Cent, and a lot of people admitted it caught them off guard in a big way. Even listeners who don't usually follow that lane of rap were saying the energy felt sharp and direct. From a music standpoint, fans were pointing out how focused and aggressive the delivery sounded, like he came in with something to prove. Online talk started spreading fast, with people saying Papoose stepped up confidently and didn't hold back at all. The way he put his words together had people replaying lines and breaking them down, trying to catch every detail. It wasn't just noise, it felt calculated, and that's what kept the conversation alive.
Papoose decided to use his music to address 50 directly.
Because of that, a lot of eyes turned toward 50 Cent, wondering how he would respond. Would he jump back in the booth and return fire with another track, or take a different route? People were waiting, watching, and refreshing their feeds like something big was about to drop at any second. But if you know 50 Cent, you already know he doesn't always follow the usual playbook. Instead of heading straight to the studio, he went where he's been dominating for years, social media. Not long after the diss track started making rounds, he hit Instagram with a post that instantly grabbed attention and got people talking even more. The image itself had people doing double takes. It looked like some strange edited picture involving Papoose and Claressa Shields, almost like one of those face swap style jokes, but something about it felt extra messy. It wasn't clean or subtle. It was the kind of post that instantly makes people pause and zoom in just to figure out what they're even looking at.
He performed a freestyle over the well-known track Many Men. During his performance, he made his feelings about the music 50 has made in the past very clear. Papoose said after Get Rich, every verse was bad.
But the real noise didn't come from the picture alone. It was the caption that really set everything off. That's where things took a sharp turn and got people talking heavy online. In the caption, 50 Cent made a comment calling the image very handsome, and that alone had people confused and reacting fast. Then he followed it up with a message aimed directly at Papoose, and that's when things got even more intense. He suggested that Papoose should ask Claressa Shields about someone named Maserati Bud, dropping it in a way that felt more like a warning than a joke. The way it was worded had people reading between the lines, especially when he hinted that something questionable might have happened around a Christmas gathering.
This has caused a lot of discussion amongst fans who grew up listening to those songs.
That detail alone had timelines going crazy, with people trying to piece together what he could have meant. Then it got even deeper. He brought up the idea that there might be security footage tied to the situation, even mentioning ring camera videos like he had access to something real. That part right there had people locked in, because now it wasn't just talk, it sounded like he was hinting at proof, and that changed the tone completely. Now, to be clear, these were still just claims and suggestions, nothing confirmed as fact, but that didn't slow the internet down at all. The reaction was instant and loud, and just like that, the focus shifted away from the music. Nobody was really debating the diss track anymore. Instead, people were locked in on the rumors, the relationships, and whether any of this story could actually be true.
People are weighing in on whether they agree with this critique of the music that came after that famous album.
A lot of viewers also started paying attention to the name being mentioned, Maserati Bud, and quickly found photos of him online. In those pictures, he was wearing flashy designer outfits and heavy jewelry, which sparked another wave of opinions. Some people criticized the look, saying it felt like too much and came off as attention-seeking. Others pushed back hard, saying style doesn't prove anything, and people were reaching just to keep the drama going. Like always, when things blow up online, the opinions went every direction at once. Nobody was on the same page, and every new detail just added more confusion to the situation. One photo that started making rounds showed Claressa Shields and Maserati Bud at what looked like a holiday event, and it didn't look private at all. There were multiple people around them, moving, talking, and clearly part of the same gathering. What really stood out in that image was the background. Phones were out, cameras were visible, and it looked like the kind of place where everything could easily be recorded.
The video of the freestyle was shared on social media and has already gathered a lot of interactions from people following the drama.
Because of that, a lot of observers started questioning the whole narrative. If something serious was actually happening, would it really go down in a setting like that, with so many eyes and lenses pointed in every direction? That question picked up momentum fast. Commentators and viewers started repeating the same point. If the environment was that open and crowded, how could anything be kept secret? It became one of the biggest talking points as the post continued spreading, with people breaking down every detail of the scene and trying to make sense of it all. Then Claressa Shields stepped in, and she didn't waste any time. Her response came quickly, and it was clear she wanted to shut everything down before it got even bigger. The tone of her reaction felt direct, like she was not about to let rumors run wild without saying something. One of the first things she shared was a screenshot, and that alone grabbed attention. In it, she showed that she had asked an AI assistant a legal question about defamation and false claims, which made people pause and take the situation more seriously. It wasn't just social media talk anymore. It started to feel like something that could turn legal.
Heard his jack, that's what came to mind soon as I heard the track. Ball spitting lyrical, condescending to murder rap. Heard they shot his ass to Nina. He deserved a Mac. About to turn the heat up, I got my hand on the thermostat. Ugly ass.
The question she asked focused on whether someone could take legal action if another person publicly claimed a romantic connection that wasn't true. That detail hit hard because it lined up closely with what people were accusing. The response she received explained that false claims like that could potentially lead to a defamation case under certain conditions, and that added a whole new layer to the situation. When people really started breaking down what 50 Cent actually said, a different angle came into focus. Some pointed out that he never directly claimed that anything specific happened. Instead, his wording leaned more towards suggestion, like he was telling Papoose to go ask questions about what went down at that Christmas gathering. That detail didn't go unnoticed, and it had people thinking the message might have been carefully put together on purpose. Because of that, a few legal voices online started weighing in, saying the phrasing felt strategic.
You the sneakers, had the shirt to match, cause after Get Rich or Die Trying, your every verse was whack. Mad cause Diddy hit your chick, you a jerk for that. Diddy clapped them cheeks so loud the neighbors heard the slaps. That's why you made that documentary, you was hurt from that. I heard she...
The way it was written left room for interpretation, which made the situation even more complicated. It wasn't a clear accusation, but it also wasn't random either, and that gray area kept the conversation going strong. Still, Claressa Shields made it clear where she stood, and she didn't soften her message at all. She responded publicly and warned that spreading rumors tied to her name could lead to legal consequences. The tone was firm, and it sounded like she was drawing a line right there. In her statement, she made it known that people can't just create stories and connect them to her without pushback. But things didn't slow down. They actually picked up even more. 50 Cent came back with additional posts, and that's when the situation really started heating up again. One clip showed Maserati Bud near Claressa Shields during what looked like a behind-the-scenes moment while she was filming an interview with boxing champion Andre Ward. The caption once again hinted that they were around each other, and that alone had people talking.
Top guys and they bring a burger back. Spoke to some conspiracy theorists. They said the earth is flat. They also said you work for Illuminati. Nervous rat. What would make this chump think that he could spit a verse with have somebody better pray for this nigga? Where the church is at? If it wasn't for him, you'll be looking for a purse to snatch.
Then another clip started circulating, and it appeared to show the same man inside a recording studio with Claressa Shields. That added another layer because now people were seeing multiple moments instead of just one. Once again, 50 Cent used the post to suggest there could be more going on than was visible on the surface, and that kept fueling the discussion. At that point, people couldn't even agree on what his intention was. Some said it looked like trolling, others thought it might be calculated shade, and a few believed it could be something more serious. That split in opinion just made the situation louder, with every side pushing a different narrative. By now, this whole situation has clearly moved way past the original diss track. What started as a rap clash turned into a full social media showdown, packed with speculation, reactions, and constant updates from both sides. With everyone now speaking out in their own way, the entire hip-hop space is watching closely, waiting to see what happens next.
Bought your girl a wig, then you told her to return it back. 50, you a petty son of a Bernie Mac, killing this nigga Softy, Lauren Hill, Roberta Flack.
At this stage, a lot of people are still saying the same thing, and they're not backing down from it. They want to see more before believing any of these claims. The accusations flying around online are loud, dramatic, and everywhere you scroll. But when people actually slow down and look closely at what's been shown so far, the proof still feels thin based on what's out there right now. The name at the center of all this, Maserati Bud, suddenly got pushed straight into the spotlight.
I don't know why people keep choosing to beef with this man 50 Cent, man. This man, yo, he is always going to find a way to make y'all look foolish and bad. So after Papoose made a diss track on 50 Cent is now aiming at Claressa, basically saying that Claressa has been messing around on Papoose.
The moment 50 Cent's post started trending, people wasted no time searching him up, digging through interviews, old posts, and anything they could find that might connect the dots. It turned into a full-on search, with people trying to piece together a story from whatever clips and images they could get their hands on. Not long after that, Maserati Bud stepped in and posted a response of his own, and that clip started spreading fast. It caught attention quick because people were already waiting to hear his side. Once it hit timelines, everyone started analyzing it frame by frame, trying to figure out exactly what he was saying and what it could mean. In the video, he appeared to address the situation directly, and for a moment, it sounded like he was confirming that he had spoken with Claressa Shields before. That part alone had people reacting instantly because it felt like a key detail in the middle of all the speculation.
So earlier, 50 Cent posted a video with Claressa Shields in the studio with this engineer dude named Bud, and she claims she don't know who this guy is, but he put up footage of her in the studio with. And if that wasn't enough, then later on, Bud himself came out and posted a video of him in the house with Claressa Shields as she was singing. I guess they had some kind of party that he was at in her house, and he posted the video validating that he does know her. Let me tell y'all what's crazy about this while all this mess is going on.
But right when things started getting interesting, the clip circulating online cut off abruptly. That sudden cutoff left a big gap, and it immediately raised more questions than answers. People were left wondering what else he said, what context was missing, and whether the full story was being shown or not. Because of that, viewers started coming to completely different conclusions. Some took the clip as proof that there had been private communication, but others pushed back and said that talking doesn't prove anything beyond a normal interaction. After all, public figures cross paths with all kinds of people at events, interviews, and social settings all the time, so one conversation doesn't automatically mean something deeper is going on. Even with all the uncertainty, the internet didn't slow down for a second. It actually sped up. People quickly started building their own theories, connecting dots that weren't fully there and turning small details into big conclusions. Some viewers speculated that maybe there were messages exchanged or casual conversations that later got blown out of proportion online. Others pushed it further, saying that even light flirting, if it happened, could still be seen as crossing a line in a relationship. But none of that was confirmed, and that's what made the situation even more intense.
Jack Harlow just dropped a new video pulling black women off the street. This shit is crazy! Honestly though, man, I really feel bad for Papoose. Like, I really do. It's giving good guys finish last as a reality. And it sucks, man. I really hate to see somebody like Pap go through some shit like this.
These were all interpretations people were choosing on their own, not solid facts. What really stood out during all of this was how fast opinions formed. The moment 50 Cent hinted at something, the comment sections filled up instantly with accusations aimed at Claressa Shields, even though nothing had been clearly proven. That kind of reaction says a lot about how quickly narratives can take off online. It doesn't take much, just a suggestion, a clip, or a caption, and suddenly people are running with a full story. If you scroll through those comment sections, it's clear that many users already made up their minds early on, and they weren't changing them easily.
I'll be honest with y'all, even if they didn't do anything, even if Claressa Shields didn't do anything, the fact that there was some fabrication and lying on her part, and the fact that he was in her house at that time, I wouldn't doubt that there was at least some flirting shit going on. And they just saying it's gonna get worse.
Even after Claressa stepped in and denied the accusations directly, the rumors didn't slow down. A lot of people kept repeating the same claims like they were confirmed, which only made the situation louder. It showed how once something gets attention, it can keep moving no matter what gets said afterward. Some commenters even turned it into jokes, bringing Papoose into it and suggesting he had been embarrassed by everything going on. That added another layer, because now the situation wasn't just serious, it was also being turned into entertainment by people watching from the outside. That's the strange reality of viral controversies. Once an idea gets planted online, it can spread fast and stick around, even when people try to clear things up. The rumor itself starts to take center stage, and at that point, whether the evidence actually holds up almost becomes secondary to the noise surrounding it. Meanwhile, Maserati Bud didn't just stop at one response. He came back again, and this time the tone felt even stronger. In another video that started circulating, he appeared to double down on everything, speaking in a way that suggested there was more going on between him and Claressa Shields than people originally thought. The way he framed it made it sound like their connection wasn't just casual, at least from his perspective. But here's where things get tricky. There's a big difference between someone making claims in a video and actual proof backing those claims up. That gap is exactly what had a lot of people raising eyebrows and questioning how much of this should really be taken seriously. Just because something is said confidently doesn't automatically make it true, and that point kept coming up in discussions. That's when observers really started digging deeper into the situation. If there was something serious happening, wouldn't there be clearer evidence than a few short clips and a single party photo? That question kept popping up again and again, especially as people looked closer at the details that were being supported by the story. And that brings everything back to that Christmas gathering, which has now become a major focus in all of this.
So what did you do lying for?
Listen, I did not concur. We were talking.
Okay, but you
And that's
know what I'm saying, how it looks.
Photos from the event show Claressa Shields in a room filled with people, surrounded by guests, movement, and what looks like a full-on celebration. It didn't come across as private or hidden at all. It looked open, social, and busy. Because of that, a lot of people started pushing back on the idea that the event itself could prove anything. Just being at the same party doesn't automatically mean there's something deeper going on behind the scenes. Events like that usually include a mix of friends, acquaintances, and plus ones, with plenty of people who may not even know each other well. Some viewers also pointed out another interesting detail that added even more context. While Papoose wasn't physically seen at the party, there were hints floating around that he might have been connected through a video call during the event. If that's accurate, it makes the situation look even less suspicious, because it suggests the gathering wasn't being kept secret or hidden from him at all. All of these details just added more layers to the conversation, and instead of clearing things up, they kept people debating back and forth even more. Even with all the back and forth, the comment sections didn't slow down for a second. They got even louder. One group of users kept pushing the rumor hard, repeating the claim that Claressa Shields had to be involved with Maserati Bud. They spoke like it was already confirmed, even though no clear proof had surfaced. At the same time, another group pushed back just as strongly, calling the whole thing clout chasing and saying it looked like someone was trying to ride the moment for attention. Some people even took it a step further, suggesting the entire situation might be a calculated move to gain visibility during a viral wave. In today's internet culture, being tied to a celebrity controversy, even loosely, can instantly put someone in the spotlight. That idea alone had people questioning motives, wondering who actually benefits the most from all this noise.
Because I know how I look. You keep acting like y'all don't know who y'all dealing with. You dealing with Curtis Petty Jackson. And I told you, at the end of the day, he has been backed in the corner, this man.
Others focused on a completely different angle that added more context to the situation. They pointed out that Claressa Shields has been seen performing music at events and spending time in studio environments recently. So when clips showed Maserati Bud around a studio setting, some viewers argued it might not be unusual at all. It could simply be someone being present during a recording session or performance, nothing deeper than that. That's where the split really shows. What one group sees as suspicious behavior, another group sees as completely normal activity. The same clip, the same photo, but two totally different interpretations depending on who you ask. And that's exactly why the debate keeps going without slowing down. Right now, the truth behind everything is still being argued across social media, and there's no clear conclusion in sight. There are accusations, responses, reactions, and counterpoints coming from every direction. But until something solid actually shows up, everything being said stays in the category of online speculation rather than confirmed fact. One thing is clear though, this situation isn't fading anytime soon. The drama involving 50 Cent, Papoose, and Claressa Shields keeps pulling more people in, and the conversation only gets bigger as new voices jump in. As the posts continued spreading, more individuals who claimed they were at that Christmas gathering started speaking up too. At least one person pushed back directly against the rumors and made their stance clear, basically saying, just because people were in the same room doesn't automatically mean anything inappropriate happened. That statement added another layer to the discussion, reminding people that being present in the same space doesn't automatically tell the full story, no matter how viral the moment becomes. Their point was simple, but it hit hard. Just being at the same event doesn't suddenly turn into proof of a secret relationship. That comment actually made a lot of people pause and rethink things for a second.
And now 50 has spoken out about Papoose's freestyle video. Underneath the video about it, 50 left a comment. In his comment, he wrote, "So embarrassing." People feel this means he is not taking the criticism seriously and finds the attempt to start a feud quite cringy. It's clear he is trying to show that the video did not bother him and it's simply not up to his standard.
Because when you really break it down, big holiday gatherings are usually packed. Friends invite friends, people bring guests, and before long, the room is full of all kinds of connections that don't go deeper than that moment. In a setting like that, someone showing up in the same photo or standing nearby doesn't automatically mean there's anything personal going on. It could be coincidence, timing, or just the nature of a crowded event. That detail started to shift how some viewers were looking at the situation, especially those who were already unsure about the claims being made. Another person in the discussion reacted in a much louder way, saying the whole situation felt like someone had thrown a grenade into the middle of everything. That description stuck with people because it captured how chaotic the conversation had become. One post turned into a flood, and suddenly everyone was reacting at once. But even with all that noise, not everyone was convinced. Plenty of people watching closely kept saying the same thing. They still hadn't seen any real proof of wrongdoing. From their perspective, this whole situation felt more like internet speculation than anything confirmed. The clips, the posts, the reactions, it all added up to conversation, not solid evidence. So far, what's actually been shown comes down to social media posts, reaction videos, and people sharing opinions back and forth. And while that can build a strong narrative online, it doesn't automatically prove the bigger claims that started spreading. That gap between talk and proof is exactly what kept a lot of viewers skeptical. Some people even started questioning Maserati Bud's role in all of this, looking at the situation from a different angle. A few suggested that all this sudden attention might be boosting his visibility online in a major way. Whether intentional or not, being at the center of a trending topic can bring a huge spotlight. And in today's social media world, that kind of exposure can happen fast. One minute someone is unknown to most people, and the next they're being searched, discussed, and followed by thousands. That shift alone had people wondering if there was more to the situation than just what was being said on the surface.
What's that? See, I've been trying to spare you. Even when Geisha 305 put that shit, I told her to take that shit. But since you want to play with a real nigga, see, I'm from the crib, I'm from Miami, right? The real nigga, we don't talk about what we do and how we do shit. But me and my dog 5 was already on the phone before I even talked to you. He told me that, man, boy, just played, man, just done that shit.
Another detail that caught attention added even more curiosity. Some viewers noticed that Maserati Bud's profile picture appeared to show him posing with 50 Cent at an event, and that small connection only gave people more to talk about as the story kept growing. But even that detail doesn't automatically mean there's a real personal connection there. At big public events, it's completely normal for people to take photos with artists, celebrities, or well-known figures. A quick picture in that kind of setting doesn't confirm anything deeper, and a lot of viewers were quick to point that out as the discussion kept growing. Because of that, some observers started looking at the situation from another angle. A few wondered if someone might have taken that moment, reached out to 50 Cent, and shared their own version of what they thought happened. If something like that did take place, it could explain how everything escalated so quickly and turned into such a massive topic online almost overnight. Still, that's just one theory in the middle of many, and nothing about it has been confirmed. When it comes to the accusations involving Claressa Shields, a large group of people is still skeptical and not ready to believe what's being said. So far, most of what's out there is built on speculation, interpretation, and clips being analyzed over and over again. And as anyone who follows internet drama already knows, once a rumor starts trending, it can grow fast, faster than most people expect. One post turns into 10, 10 turns into 100, and suddenly the story feels bigger than the actual evidence behind it. That pattern is exactly what some viewers believe is happening here. At the same time, Claressa Shields has already spoken up and denied the claims clearly, making it known that she doesn't agree with how everything is being framed online. Her response added another layer, because now people aren't just reacting to rumors, they're also reacting to her denial and choosing which side they believe. Then there's Papoose, who a lot of fans feel is stuck right in the middle of all this noise. Some commenters tried to turn the situation into jokes at his expense, while others pushed back and said it's not fair to assume anything without real proof. That divide in reactions shows just how split the audience really is right now. So where does everything stand at this point? Honestly, it's starting to look like a classic case of internet drama spiraling way beyond where it originally started. What began as a music-related clash has now turned into a full-blown online situation, driven more by speculation and reaction than anything clearly confirmed. At this point, the situation feels like it's running on its own momentum, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. Every new post, clip, or comment just adds more fuel to the conversation, even when there's nothing solid backing it up. People are still watching closely, refreshing their feeds, and waiting to see if anything real actually comes out of all this noise. What's really standing out now is how much the story keeps shifting depending on who's telling it. One side focuses on hints and clips, trying to connect everything into something bigger. The other side keeps pointing out the lack of clear proof, saying the entire situation is being stretched way beyond what's actually been shown. That back and forth is what's keeping the drama alive. At the same time, 50 Cent hasn't exactly stepped away from the spotlight either. His style has always been to keep things entertaining, a little unpredictable, and just vague enough to keep people guessing. Whether people see it as trolling or something more serious, his posts continue to shape how the conversation moves online. Meanwhile, Claressa Shields' response still holds weight in the middle of all this. By directly denying the claims and bringing up legal concerns, she shifted part of the focus back onto accountability. That move made some people rethink what they were repeating, while others continued to question everything anyway. And then there's the audience, which might be the biggest factor in all of this. Social media doesn't just react, it amplifies. The more people comment, share, and debate, the bigger the situation becomes. Even small details start to feel important when they're repeated enough times across different platforms.
And that's why I said my dog petty, because he told me to play it like that, and I was gonna play it like that, play dumb, and I wasn't gonna respond, I don't even play with the internet. But since you wanna record phone calls, guess what? I'm finna release all this footage. Yeah, that's right. I said I'm finna release the footage now. Yeah. On Christmas, I was inside the crib. When you was on FaceTime, Papoose, I got the video. When she FaceTiming you, guess what? I'm sitting right there in the living room at the same chair that I helped her get for her homewarming gift. That bed.
Right now, everything is still sitting in that gray area between rumor and reality. There's a lot being said, a lot being implied, but not much that's been clearly proven. Until something concrete shows up, the entire situation stays open-ended, with people choosing what they believe based on fragments of information. One thing is certain though, this isn't just about a diss track anymore. It's turned into a full digital spectacle where perception, timing, and reaction are driving the story just as much as the people involved. And as long as the posts keep coming and the audience stays locked in, this situation isn't going quiet anytime soon. Now the big question everyone keeps asking is simple: what happens next? Because at this stage, it feels like the situation could go in a few different directions, and each one would completely change how everything is viewed. If no new evidence shows up, there's a chance the conversation slowly fades. But if something concrete drops, it could flip everything instantly. Some people are watching closely to see if 50 Cent takes things even further. His track record shows he knows how to keep attention locked in, and every move he makes tends to spark another wave of reactions. Whether he posts again or decides to fall back, that choice alone could shift the energy around this entire situation. Others are focused on whether Claressa Shields decides to take things beyond social media. Since she already mentioned legal concerns, a lot of viewers are wondering if that was just a warning or the start of something more serious. If any official action happens, that would take this out of the internet rumor space and into something much more real. Then there's Papoose, who people still feel hasn't fully stepped into the center of this situation yet. Some fans are waiting to see if he responds directly, either through music or publicly, while others think staying quiet might actually be the smarter move. Either way, his next step is something a lot of people are paying attention to. At the same time, the internet isn't waiting for answers. It's continuing to build its own story in real time. New clips, old photos, and random details keep resurfacing, and each one adds another layer, whether it's meaningful or not. That constant flow of content is what keeps the situation alive, even without anything officially confirmed. Right now, everything still comes down to one thing: proof. Without it, all the theories, reactions, and debates stay exactly where they are, sitting in that space between possibility and fact. And that's why the conversation keeps looping, with people arguing the same points from different angles. Until something clear finally comes out, this situation stays unpredictable. One post could change everything, or it could all slowly fade as the next big topic takes over. But for now, all eyes are still on this, and people aren't looking away anytime soon. At this point, the situation has reached that stage where perception is starting to matter just as much as reality. People aren't just reacting to what's been shown, they're reacting to how it feels, and that's where things get even more unpredictable. A single caption, a short clip, or even a facial expression in a video can be enough to spark a whole new wave of opinions. What's making it even more intense is how fast old content is being pulled back into the spotlight. Viewers are digging through past videos, photos, and appearances, trying to find anything that might connect back to what's happening now. Moments that once meant nothing are suddenly being re-examined like they hold hidden meaning. And that kind of deep dive is keeping the conversation alive.
At the same time, there's a growing divide between people who are treating this like entertainment and those who are taking it seriously. Some are watching it like a storyline, reacting to every twist and turn, while others are focused on what's actually fair and proven. That split is creating two completely different conversations happening at once. Another thing that stands out is how quickly confidence forms around uncertain information. People are speaking on the situation like they have the full picture, even though most of what's out there is still incomplete. That confidence spreads fast, and once it does, it becomes harder to separate assumption from fact. And while all this is happening, the people at the center of it are still being watched closely. Every move, every post, every reaction gets analyzed instantly. Even silence becomes a talking point, with people trying to figure out what it means or what might be coming next. What started as a moment is now turning into a full timeline, with each update stacking on top of the last. The longer it goes on, the more complicated it gets, because now there's history attached to it. People aren't just looking at one event, they're looking at a chain of moments and trying to connect everything together. Right now, the biggest challenge is figuring out what actually matters and what's just noise. With so much content flying around, it's easy for small details to get blown up into something bigger than they really are. And that's exactly how situations like this keep growing, even without clear answers. Until something real cuts through all the speculation, this story stays in motion. And with the way things are unfolding, it's clear that people are still locked in, still debating, and still waiting for that one moment that either confirms everything or changes the entire narrative completely. What started as a diss track between 50 Cent and Papoose didn't just stay about music, it quickly turned into a wave of rumors, accusations, and non-stop viral debates involving multiple people. One moment it was about bars and lyrics, and the next it became a full-blown online situation with everyone trying to piece together their own version of what really happened. But when you strip everything back and really look at it, one thing stands out. Until real proof actually shows up, most of what's been circulating is still commentary, reactions, and speculation. And that's exactly why stories like this keep trending, because everybody online has their own theory, and those theories just keep spreading faster and louder every day. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe the claims that have been going around, or do you think this whole situation is getting blown way out of proportion? Drop your thoughts down in the comments and let your voice be heard, because this is one of those moments where everyone's got a different take. If you've been keeping up with everything and you enjoy breaking down celebrity drama like this, make sure you hit that like button so more people can join the conversation. And don't keep this to yourself. Share this video with someone who stays tapped into hip-hop news, because they're definitely gonna have something to say about this. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future updates, because stories like this can change fast, and you already know we're gonna be covering it all the way through. And before you click off, check out the next video popping up on your screen right now. That one dives into another wild situation that's got people talking everywhere. And if you thought this was intense, just wait until you see that one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.